Yeah, sorry. People joining. Hi everybody, I hope you're having a fantastic Friday the 13th. I suppose that's an unlucky day for most. Please join. We're doing a live demonstration on bridesmaids bouquets and also some flower girls for our wedding this weekend. You can see we've got some fantastic selection of beautiful bright sunflowers, and I'll show you, or Debbie will tell us the rest a bit later on. She's just preparing all the flowers. We're just waiting for people to join and then we'll get started. So I must apologise, we're out in the warehouse today. It's a very busy day at Triangle Nursery. So it will be a little bit noisy with the cold store fridge making that noise. But we've been banished to the warehouse.
Well, you know what?
Absolutely.
So I'm just stripping the lower leaves of all of the flowers I'm using. We have some rather lovely sun-rich orange sunflowers, which really are your quintessential sunflower, to be fair. They are a slightly more manageable size than some of the locally grown ones that you can obtain, which tend to get to the size of dinner plates. On this occasion, you don't want anything quite as big as that.
Especially for a bridesmaid's bouquet. Now these are 60 centimetre, Debs.
They are actually an 80.
Oh wow, so normally they're slightly bigger, aren't they?
Yeah, you would normally, to be fair, expect a bigger head size on this size, or this length stem. But I think it's because they're coming pretty much to the end of the season now. They're kind of forcing them a little bit to get them to market, so
yeah,
not developing to the full
potential. And they did come into us quite tight, so we had to allow time to open.
Been gently singing to them, and we've put all the heating on, so we really care for our flowers here. The heating goes on for the flowers, not for
us. No, not for us, unfortunately. If you come to Triangle Nursery, we've got about 100 layers on.
Yep. Yeah, as you can see.
Absolutely.
I'd like to think I was a size 8 really, but
you probably are under all of that.
I wish. So, we have some black night dahlias.
Hey, gorgeous. I'm just going to come in just to show you all these beautiful dahlias. It's really hard to show you on the camera, but they're really lovely, dark, almost purpley colour, burgundy we'd say.
Almost like an aubergine, aren't they?
Yeah.
Again, I'm trimming all of the bottom, calamity there. What I'm doing as I'm going through the flowers is I'm naturally selecting the head sizes. So because this particular dahlia is quite tiny, I'm going to put that to one side ready for the little flower girl. So although the flower girl will have the same varieties as the adult bridesmaid, she's not going to need anything quite so big. So I'm being a little bit picky in what I select for the bouquets. So all the little tiny ones are being saved for the flower girl.
So just to let you know, Tracy, sorry I didn't catch at the start, we're doing a bridesmaid's bouquet and a flower girl bouquet, just to give you a little demo with this selection of flowers for a wedding that we've got at the weekend.
It's very much a autumnal rustic theme, with the sunflowers giving the bright colour highlight. Okay, so nearly there. So we've got Pomponay, Mini Gerbera, Pomponay Mini Gerbera. So we've got the sun-rich orange sunflowers. We've got Anigaxanthus, or kangaroo paws. Now the beautiful thing about the Anigaxanthus is they do actually look a little bit like, if I can turn it around so you can see, a bit like kangaroo paws. that. And they're really furry to touch.
Don't know if you can see that.
So something is a little bit fun to work with. Then we have white wax flower, which I'm just trimming down, ready to use. Wax flower smells beautiful. It has a real citrus fragrance when you strip the foliage from it. Then we have some burgundy asterbe.
This is my favourite. I love it. I don't know why, it's just my absolute favourite.
It is beautiful because it's got such a lovely texture. And as I explained on one of the other live streams that we did, the more texture and variety that you add to a bouquet or any arrangement, the more of a country garden feel you're going to get. So there we go. And then we've got, as our foliage, we have Foliage green bell, which again is a nice texture. It looks almost like a wild flower really, or a wild seed head. So again, that's adding a fantastic rustic, almost meadowland kind of hedgerow appearance to the flowers.
Get close up. Oh.
And then yeah, we've got eucalyptus we're using.
So what type of eucalyptus is this, Debbie?
This is gunny eye.
Oh, nice. We haven't had this for a while, have we?
No, we haven't. And obviously we've got the Salix pussy willow, which is lovely. Again, there's a lot of nice texture to this bouquet. You've got very soft, very tactile sort of textures going into this bouquet. The Dutch call this willow cats. I guess pussy willow cats.
It works.
Kind of get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start to put this together.
Okay, sit down. Oh, great.
Starting off with the Foliage green bell and some of my eucalyptus to give the start. And as I've mentioned previously, you want to do a spiral form with the stems. Just going to trim some of the little pussy willow blooms.
So for the bouquet, just to, before we start, are we making quite a loose bouquet or quite a tight?
Very loose.
Okay.
Very loose. I would say it's not an unstructured bouquet. It's unstructured, doesn't have any form, it's a bit random. It's quite structured, but it's very loose, very informal, very rustic. So it looks like you've gone and grabbed a whole bunch of flowers and produced it.
Okay.
Ironically, something that's supposed to look as naturally put together as possible is one of the most difficult things to create, because your brain wants you to put things in certain positions and have a certain balance to it. Whereas if you're trying to create something that's very random, it's quite difficult to achieve that.
I can imagine. Just to let you know, everyone in the audience who's watching, if you've got any questions about today's demonstration or about the flower varieties, please just don't hesitate to ask. As I go along, I will be asking questions. Great if you can get involved and ask any questions. We're happy to answer all of your questions.
It's actually quite nice to be doing this during the afternoon rather than the evening.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how we're starting. Got a few pieces of foliage there, a few leaves that are below the tying point, so I'm going to trim those as we go along. It's quite important to do that because it's actually quite uncomfortable to hold if there's too much greenery there. And we don't want staining on the bridesmaid's hands either. Doesn't look good against the posh frock.
Getting a bit closer.
So you can see I'm doing gradual build up. I'm going to add another piece of Anigaxanthus this side.
We've got Carol saying, how much would all the flowers and foliage used cost the customer?
As a selection of cut flowers, or made up into a bridal bouquet or a bridesmaid's bouquet?
It's a very difficult question for us.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a bouquet that we were making up for a bridesmaid, in the region of about £45, depending very much on the flower content and the labour involved. If you were purchasing the cut flowers yourself with a view to making it up yourself, it's quite difficult to be precise, simply because you'd have to buy in bunch quantities. So for example, the mini gerberas are sold in multiples of 60, the sunflowers are in multiples of 10, the dahlias are currently
In tens.
The wax flower is in 25s, the astilbe is in 30s, and the pussy willow is in 10s. So you'd have to buy minimum quantities of everything. So you'd need to be doing something else to use the rest of the flowers up. So it's kind of difficult to give an exact price on that until we know exactly the varieties that are required.
And also, Carol, it does also depend on the season that you are buying the flowers. So you can appreciate we buy from the Dutch auctions, and the prices do fluctuate daily, and they can fluctuate seasonally, and also if there's something like Mother's Day or Christmas coming up. So there's lots of factors that can affect price.
Yeah, because the availability and prices fluctuate daily, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, well, and ironically, we're getting flowers in at this time of the year that normally it'd be unheard of to see at this time of the year, like sweet peas, for example. So it's very difficult to. It's not an exact science, shall we say. Mother Nature tends to like to keep us on our toes. I'm just going to pop another piece of Thalaspi in there, so I feel like that actually needs some more Thalaspi the other side of the bouquet. You can see I've got Thalaspi there and there. I need a little bit this side just to give it that extra texture.
Is it also about balancing the?
Yeah, I mean, definitely for a slightly more structured bouquet, you do need a kind of visual balance as much as an actual balance. Because if your eyes wander over it and you've got too much colour content one side compared to the other, it looks a little bit odd. So it's good to balance.
Charmaine says, I've always used you to supply flowers, etc. Amazing and great service. Thank you, Charmaine.
Thanks, Charmaine. Miserable Friday afternoon. Considering it's supposed to be one of the hottest weekends for ages, I feel like it's heading that way.
21 degrees or something.
And there we are in our winter coats. So again, you can see how we're bringing that balance in. Just going to add the last sunflower.
When using sunflowers, do you have to be quite careful just because of their weight in a bridal bouquet or a bridesmaid's bouquet?
Yeah, they are quite heavy and quite a wide stem as well. You don't want the bridesmaid to feel like she's carrying some sticks of rhubarb because they're so big. But generally speaking, with the sunflowers, if I show you, you start off with quite a large stem, and as it gets closer to the head, it starts to get a bit narrower. Sorry if I break those leaves off, you'll see. And it's normally this area where it's being held rather than this area.
I see.
So fortunately, you can get away with it.
Okay.
Otherwise, the poor bride would need, or bridesmaid would need, literally 2 hands to carry it.
Charmaine said, I think the weatherman had too much wine when he said that.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Or perhaps he was off on holiday.
Yeah, you never know, maybe he was in Spain or...
Got the wrong forecast. Okay, so you can see how
That's
that's
lovely.
going together. I'm actually not going to put any more in that because I don't think it needs it. So just going to do a tying point. I just use twine simply because it's biodegradable, it's comfortable to hold, and you get a little bit of resistance when you tie with it. As with ribbon, as I've said before, it can be quite slippy, so you don't get that control. I'm trying to show you how I'm doing this.
That's all right.
This way round.
Hi Zita, she's just joined us, she's on her lunch break.
I hope you got something nice to eat.
Yeah, I do as well. So I hope you can all see this. So Debbie's just now at the tying point with the twine.
Just remove all the extra little pussy willows, little fluffy bits that are below the tying point. And then just to cover that, just a bit of anchor tape. I use the 12mm because it's thicker, got more coverage. And then just cover that tying point nice and neatly, which actually also helps to keep all the flowers nice and tightly bound together, as well as covering up your mechanics. And then just cut the stems. I'm just going to do that down here.
So as we were saying on Carol, thank you for your, we'll just answer say my bit and then I'll answer your question. So as we were saying on last Friday when we made our hand tie, God, the days go by so quickly.
Seriously, they do.
Debbie's now cutting the stems and she's using her carbon blade scissors, the best scissors you can buy, especially for floristry. As she was saying, what was it? To use your own, because everyone uses it in different scissors in different ways. How do you condition sunflowers?
Okay, so I'll turn that around that way so you can see it a bit better. Ooh, I'm not laying it down very well. There you go. Right, so sunflowers don't like flower food, and they don't like to be in galvanised buckets. So cut the stem at an angle, like so, and then just pop them into buckets of fresh clean water. Make sure the foliage is removed from below, that's going to be below the water line. Occasionally they will get an air block in the neck just here, and then the head will go floppy. So you can recut them. So again, cut at an angle, but this time slit the stem up. So this actually, if I just open this up, shows you a much greater surface area of cells that are exposed to the water, so you can take that much more water up the stem. Failing that, put them into about that much boiling water, and that will actually force the air block through. It will discolour the stem, because it almost cooks it really, but it will force the air block through the end of the head, so the head will perk up. And quite frankly, we would perk up if we were put in boiling water.
Absolutely.
So,
you know when you do your bath too hot.
yeah, exactly. It's surprising how quickly you can do that.
And just to answer Carol's question, we've got how close to an event would flowers need to be brought? Do they last for a few days?
Yeah, because we're wholesale rather than retail, that conditioning process has already been done if you buy from a retail outlet. That hasn't been done when you buy from us. So you need to factor that into your ordering schedule. So for example, if you were having a wedding or an event on a Saturday, I would recommend that you take delivery of your flowers on the Wednesday. That way they can be cut Wednesday, put into buckets of water overnight, then they're ready to work with on the Thursday and the Friday. If you're doing hand-tied bouquets like this, they could easily be done on the Friday, put into buckets of water overnight, and then the fancy part of the handle decorated on the Saturday morning. So if you're buying online for a Wednesday delivery, you can place the order online from the previous Friday up until the Sunday evening at 11 PM.
Perfect.
And that's when you'll see the current market prices. So that'll be the live prices, that's exactly what we pay. And that's no different to what we see if we actually process the order on your behalf. You kind of get control and freedom if you do it yourself, because you can then see other options that are available, such as different stem lengths, because you might find that actually a shorter stem is perfectly adequate for what you want, as opposed to a longer stem which might cost you more. So you're in control. As you pop everything into your shopping basket, it keeps a running tally for you, so you control your budget at every step of the way. And then when you go through to the checkout, will actually give you a pictorial summary of what you've already ordered, so you can kind of get a preview of how everything looks together, which is a really useful tool. So yeah, hope that helps.
No, brilliant.
Right, so I'm going to get rid of this adult bridesmaids one now, and we're now going to do the flower girl.
Can you just show us how you pop it, store it overnight?
Yeah, sure. So basically just a bucket, regular bucket with water. Having pre-cut the stems, just pop that into the bucket of water and then store it somewhere cool overnight. Allow the air to circulate so you don't get any mould or any detritus forming, and that should be absolutely fine.
Perfect.
Little girl now we're going to do.
So how old is the little girl that we're making for?
She is she's 6 years old.
6 years old, okay, perfect.
Which I threw down there. So again we've got our anigaxanthus. Sorry, keep disappearing.
That's okay. So if anyone's watching and they missed what ingredients we are using for our bouquets, we've got some wax flower, we've got some anigaxanthus, I'm really never good at saying that one, which is kangaroo paws, we've got some pussy willow, some eucalyptus gunni, some dahlias, black fox, really lovely. Got some sunflowers, sunrich orange. Don't be put off by the name, they are the typical sunflowers. And we've also got some hidden over there. We've got some Gemini, what's her name? Pompanay.
Pompanay.
Oh, and we've got some Astilbe as well.
Oh, yeah, nearly
Can't
forgot
reach
your
that
favourite.
over there. My favourite Astilbe. Oh, I've also got some wax flower. Got a lot.
And
Oh, and some philosophy.
So again, just removing all of the foliage that's going to be below the tying point, just so it makes it slightly more comfortable to hold.
So it's really difficult. I just want to ask the question to choose exactly what is best for a flower girl. How do you make the decision, or how do you speak to your brides about
It
what
very much depends really on what kind of style the bride is going for, and also on the little girl herself. I mean, some little girls are very feminine, they like something to carry, so a little basket or a little bag with a flower corsage on would be absolutely perfect for them. Other slightly angelic bridesmaids that perhaps aren't as angelic as you hope they would be, a little bit more boisterous possibly, then I'd probably go for something a little bit more robust, something that maybe they can put down or abandon and not worry too much about. There are pomandas. That's a sort of like a spear of flowers that's attached to a ribbon. They can actually be pushed onto the arm of a bridesmaid so she can sort of swing them along as she goes.
Stomp along?
But I have seen them used as footballs after the ceremony. So it very much depends on what look you're trying to achieve. I mean, there are hoops, there are so many options. Baskets and small bouquets tend to be popular. Small bouquet basically because then the flower girl feels like she's as big as the older bridesmaids. She's getting almost an identical bouquet but on a smaller scale, so she thinks, oh yeah, I'm as big as they are. So that works in their favour. So yeah, it very much depends on the bride and the flower girl really. Right, so I think we're ready to start. Here we go. Now, as we said earlier, this is for a younger bridesmaid, so bearing that in mind, try and keep it the size small in comparison. And there's nothing that we're using to be irritant to the hands, so that's something else to bear in mind if you're doing something for a smaller child.
What sort of varieties are irritant?
Okay, so anything that's got a white milky sap to it, so euphorbia, purpurum, anything like that, and also things like the eryngium, that's like the thistle, so they have quite a sharp spike to them, they can be uncomfortable to hold. And actually some people do have an allergy to alstroemeria, so that gives out quite a strong sap as well. So, and then obviously you then need to bear in mind as well whether you're arranging flowers for an asthmatic or not, or someone that has problems with hay fever, because anything that's got a high pollen content, it's not really advisable for someone that has bad asthma or someone that has bad hay fever. So they're all things that you probably need to bear in mind when you do a wedding consultation with a view to supplying flowers to a bride. So just making again exactly the same style bouquet, and again keeping that tying point. I didn't mention earlier, but I had pre-wired my germanies.
Gosh, she hasn't told you that, has she? Never just to give you a little show. You haven't wired gerbers before, I'd advise you to go over to our YouTube channel, because we've got a fantastic video on how to wire gerbers on there.
They're really not complicated. The beauty of doing it is you can then manipulate, to a certain extent you can manipulate the head to wherever you want it to be. So quite a useful thing.
And it also strengthens the stem, doesn't it?
It does, definitely. And especially if you're going to be placing them in oasis, as opposed to just a vase of water, they much prefer to be wired. It helps to keep them upright. Those gerbers do have a little bit of a reputation for having a bit of a droopy head after a few days. Don't put those in boiling water though.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Also, one tip about sunflowers, I don't know if you mentioned, they don't like flower food. Did you mention that? Oh, I'm sorry.
Now, okay, so I've got to that stage. Potentially, I could add another sunflower. But I'm actually not convinced it needs it, so I'm not going to use it on this occasion, because the poor little girl's going to be completely overwhelmed if she has to carry 2 sunflowers. So on this occasion, I'm going to add something that's a bit lighter, like the wax flower, which is not going to be quite such a hassle for her to carry. And then I'm just going to add a dahlia in there to reinforce the colour scheme. I need some more eucalyptus. Corner and another piece of the stilbean, and I think we're nearly there. So although that's only got the one sunflower in that, we've still got the colour reinforced.
It's lovely.
Just need another piece of spiking apparatus. As you progress through to making the arrangement up, bouquet up, you'll actually see as you build up the various bits and pieces that you need. And there we go.
Just a question, with the larger flowers, with the sunflowers, do you work in odds or evens?
I normally like to try and work in odds, so I normally do 3s, 5s, 7s, 9s, but sometimes an arrangement will naturally require an even number, so there are no rules and regulations really, it's whatever looks so most pleasing to the eye, but as a general rule of thumb I do work to odd numbers.
So in the flower gold girl bouquet, we've got 1 sunflower, and the bridesmaid, we've got 5. Oh, sorry. And then just securing it with the twine as we showed you earlier. Oh god, I'm so Suffolk. And then just add in the anchor tape,
just covering that binding point. It also, as I said earlier, just helps to keep those flowers together, reinforces the tying point and covers up your mechanics. Alright, so I'll just show you how they look next to each other. Again, just cutting the stems with my scissors. Bring them out to the side so you can see.
Got a few more questions. Oh, they're lovely, aren't they? Really nice. So Carol asks, are there any certain types of foliage that work best in bouquets? Oh, that's a question.
Again, it very much depends on your theme. If you're doing something quite contemporary, then I would tend to use structural leaves such as Aspidistra, Fatsia, perhaps some Kentia, things like that, bear grass, steel grass, flexigrass, all of the things that you can use to make a slightly more contemporary appearance. If you're going for something a bit more rustic, then I'd go for sort of the Lasby green bell, perhaps some of the grasses. Panic Fountain is very nice. That's very loose and frothy, flowy.
I also like Setaria.
Setaria absolutely would work really well. And then if you're going for something a little bit more vintage, maybe go along the grey tones, such as some of the eucalyptus, senecio, Brunia, and even pussy willow. So that'll give you your vintage hues. Then if you want to go for more sort of traditional, perhaps go for soft ruscus. Soft ruscus works really well in a cascade bouquet or a shower bouquet because you've got that lovely long drape. Hard ruscus works very well if you're doing a bouquet that needs a collar around it, because hard ruscus is quite upright, so it actually helps to keep everything together.
Bit of structure to the bouquet, doesn't it?
Aid.
There's a lot, really.
More at the moment.
And then we've got Michelle who says, will you be making up some Christmas wreaths? We can most certainly make up some Christmas wreaths if you would like us to on our Friday demos, and we will schedule that in the coming months because it's nearly Christmas. How scary is that?
My nephew informed me it's 10 weeks to go.
Oh Christ.
Bless him.
Is she? Oh no. So before we go, I'll let Debbie go because we've got lots of work to be done today, lots of weddings at the weekend, so she will crack on, and I will now show you just the bouquets just on a white background so you can see in their full beauty.
Thank you for listening. Bye.
Perfect.
Is that okay?
Yeah, perfect. I'll just show them. That's alright. So just to show you, we've got this beautiful, beautiful bouquet. Lovely, jubbly. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. It's alright. And then we've got the little guy there. Little girl, sorry. Perfect. Well, we will see you next week. I'm sorry, just pointing you at the floor.
Okay,
It's alright.